feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the great.
I remember very specifically this one day when I was 16 years old and I was sitting in front of a screen playing this video game called Rocket League with my friends. And I could still feel it, the rush and the excitement that came when me and my friends would win a match. And even though I was wasting time, I still felt a sense of brotherhood. I felt like I belonged to something, like we had a collective mission to improve, to level up in the games that we played. But those same friends, they weren't pushing me to eat healthier. They weren't challenging me to get in shape. No one was telling me to improve my life. And honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it. The only thing on my mind was the video games that I played. I wasn't thinking about how much more life had to offer outside of pixels on a screen. But as time went on, I got more and more frustrated with my real life. And so video games became my escape, a temporary fix from the fact that I wasn't doing anything in my real life to improve myself. I became dependent on them. I literally needed video games to make me feel good. I felt like I was nothing without them, like my life had no meaning when I wasn't plugged into the virtual world. I was addicted and I didn't know how to stop. I wasn't working out, I wasn't taking care of my mental health, I wasn't improving my ability to speak, to lead, or to listen. I was still eating junk, and it showed in how I felt about myself. I'd look in the mirror and hate what I saw. I hated that my only skill was in some video game. I hated that I had zero direction in life. I was just drifting. It literally felt like I was stuck in quicksand, sinking deeper with every passing day. But here's the crazy part. 1 year later, I was a completely different person. I'd finally quit playing video games and I knew what direction I wanted to go in. How did I do it? How did I go from being stuck, lost, and addicted to completely quitting video games in just 1 year? Here's what happened. That same year that I was spending all of my time playing video games, I decided to start going to the gym. It was my first step towards actually improving my life. I was still playing video games, but now, for the first time, I was doing something to improve myself. I remember very specifically this one time, after about a month of going to the gym, I was getting ready to bench press. And so I put my usual weight on the bar and lifted it, and it felt easier than last time. And so I decided to add 10 pounds to each side of the bar. And so I went to lift it, and boom, that was my first ever PR. And it was at that exact moment that I finally realized that upgrading in real life is almost the same as upgrading in a video game. The only difference is that upgrading in real life actually matters. And that was the second that everything changed for me. And from that point onward, I started waking up with the mindset that every day, if I put the work in my real life, that I would get the results. And so the same way that I'd used to grind in video games is exactly how I grinded in the gym. But the difference was these upgrades weren't just numbers on a screen. They were real. The greatest part about upgrading in real life is that the results are always with you. But when you're upgrading a video game, you need to play that game to get the results. The more I focused myself in upgrading in real life, physically, mentally, emotionally, the less I found video games enjoyable. Because I realized finally that no matter how good I got at the video games, they weren't gonna actually improve my life in any way. But the work that I put into the gym, it made a difference. It changed who I am. It made me realize that I was in control. And so as I made more and more progress, I started to play video games less and less. And something happened, something that I wasn't expecting. People in the gym started noticing my progress. They respected the work that I was putting in. And soon enough, I was making new friends. Over time, I had a brotherhood, a real brotherhood. A brotherhood that was centered around improvement, not wasting time. A brotherhood that pushed me to my limits, challenged me to grow, and actually improved the quality of my life. And so I didn't need the fake brotherhood of a gaming community anymore. I didn't need to indulge in bad habits with people who were just as stuck as I used to be. I had something real, a community that was focused on leveling up in real life, not in video games. And I honestly think this is one of the most important things that I learned on self-improvement. The people who you surround yourself with are everything. And whether you like it or not, they influence you every single day. If you spend all of your time around people who waste time and people who don't challenge themselves, your mindset is going to be the same as those people. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, who are always striving to be better, you will naturally start to think and act more like them. You become like the people you spend your most time with. And that's when I realized I needed to build my own environment, my own community of people who had the same mindset that I wanted. People who were hungry for growth, discipline, and excellence. People who wouldn't let me fall back into the old habits. And I will never forget the last day I played video games with my friends. I told them that I was done, that I was quitting video games to focus on myself. And sure enough, what do you think they did? They laughed at me, made fun of me, called me names. They tried to pull me back in. They told me that I'd never make it, that I'd never actually get the things that I wanted. And it was like a slap to the face, but I couldn't care less. I knew I was done. I needed more. I was on a new path, a path to set me apart from those old friends. And looking back at it, it was one of the best decisions I've made in my entire life. I felt free. Free from the burden of wasting time, free from the burden of looking at a screen for the entire day, free from fake friends who just wanted another human soul to indulge in the bad habits with them. I finally felt alive. And even though I thought that was the end of my story, I thought I'd finally made it, I couldn't have been more wrong. That was just the beginning of a journey that would change who I was and everything that I stood for. And so if you want to be different, if you refuse to be controlled by the distractions, and if you want to become the kind of person who leads themselves and inspires others to follow, then start now. Make the choice today to live differently. Surround yourself with people who push you, who challenge you, people who make you better. And so if you're ready to step up and take control, if you're ready to become the kind of person who leads by example and inspires others to follow, then scroll down right now and subscribe. Because we're not just improving ourselves, we're building something bigger. Together we can and we will make an impact. But it starts right now. The choice is yours. Are you ready? My name is Justin, and remember, you deserve the consequences of your actions.